You can see my date of birth right there, December 7th, 1978. And if I calculated that right, I'm almost going to be 50 years in 3 years. And so I've tried mature makeup, everything from high-end to drugstore. And this is the best makeup on the market for mature skin. So I absolutely know which one deserves to be tossed to the trash. Watch my previous video and which ones deserve to stay. Let's start with skin prep. Now, when I talk about skincare or skin prep at my age, I want layers of skincare, but when I apply my foundation or any makeup over it, I don't want it to pill. And there's one brand that has provided me that I can apply as many layers as I want without the foundation pilling, and that's POV Beauty. Starting with Drench It. This is a super thin milky toner. It almost feels hydrating as well as sticky on my skin. Hydration is key when it comes to mature skin prep, and this plumps your skin and prevents your makeup from clinging onto those dry patches and looking overly patchy. And wow, look at that instant glow with just one layer. Drench It is a toner. Now we'll move on to a serum, which is Drip It. This has a pretty thick consistency, and the purpose of this serum is to smooth out those fine lines and wrinkles that you have on your skin so the base makeup applies better. And look how beautiful my skin feels. It feels really soft and polished, almost like silk. Now, although I'm going to be showing you all these products from POV, you don't have to buy every single product. I'm showing you because I like to layer, and I want to show you that even if you layer, it's not going to pill. But if I were to recommend 2 products, it would be the moisturizer that I'm going to be showing you next, as well as the gripping primer. Now, the first 2 products that I showed you, Drench It and Drip It, you can also use it as part of your morning skincare, not necessarily for skin prep. Now, moving on to Whip It, which is the moisturizer. It has a very soft, whipped texture to it. What this is going to do is it's going to lock in all the moisture and keeps the glow without feeling greasy. Just look at that beautiful glow. Wow. It feels like my skin almost lit up, and it doesn't feel like anything. It's very light on the skin. And finally, from this line, we have Glaze It, which is a gripping primer, which comes at the very end after you've done the other skin prep. For mature skin, you will need a gripping primer to hold the makeup the whole day, but at the same time, it shouldn't be so tacky and drying that it feels uncomfortable on the skin. So this provides the hydration, but at the same time, it's gripping, which is a fantastic combination. My skin feels hydrated and tacky, so I know for sure that the foundation is going to grip onto this like Velcro and stay put. I'm also going to be using It. Again, this is from POV. You can use any lip product to moisturize your lips and prep it before your makeup. Another product that I absolutely love to keep your lips hydrated is the Ulla Henriksen lip treatment. In fact, the texture of the POV It is very similar to Ulla Henriksen. Can you see how well prepped my skin looks? This is exactly how I envision my skin before applying any makeup. Of course, without the makeup pilling. If you're looking for a good eye cream, I would highly suggest the Nacre Lift Tox Eye Cream. I love the applicator on this. It is so cooling. It instantly depuffs and it creates that smooth canvas, so when you apply your concealer under your eyes, it's not going to settle in the fine lines. Make sure you blended that really well so your skin has absorbed it. As I'm aging, I've tried to stay away from overly thick foundations, and I've tried to stick with light to medium coverage, or even better, skin tint. And I got to share my current favorite. This is the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip 12-hour hydrating gel skin tint, and I'm using the shade 9. And why do I like it so much? Now, as you can see, it has a very thin consistency. So when you apply it, when you actually blend it out, you'll see that it'll instantly melt into the skin. But at the same time, do you see all those dark spots and all the patches and the uneven skin tone that I have? This will instantly make it disappear. Wow. Just look at the color match and just look at the way all those dark spots that I had completely disappeared. And this gives the coverage without settling in the fine lines, which is so important, especially if you have wrinkles and fine lines. And oh my God, just look at that coverage. It's lightweight, but flawless. And if you want that extra coverage, rather than layering the skin tint, I prefer using a concealer and spot correcting. I've tried everything from high-end to drugstore and there's only one favorite concealer. Can you guess? No brownie points for guessing because this is the only one that I've been using. This is the Milani concealer, and the shade that I use, which covers my dark circles as well as conceals, is warm beige, which is 145. I just like to apply a tad bit in areas where I have my dark circles, where I need extra coverage, where I have the spots or dark patches around my mouth because I like some extra coverage there. And then I let it sit for about a couple minutes till it gets a little bit dry and tacky. That's when it gives you more coverage when you blend it out. And you can get away by using less product. That's precisely what we need, especially when we have those fine lines. You don't want it to crease. And now I'm going to be using a concealer brush from Real Techniques, and you can see how beautifully that has covered all those dark patches. And what I love about this concealer is it's fast drying. You just need very less product. It gives you great coverage and it's not going to settle in the fine lines and crease. And just look at my dark circles. What dark circles? They've completely disappeared. Now, to add dimension to this flat face, I've been loving bronzing sticks, and one of my current favorites is the Persona Cosmetics Dream Stick Cream Bronzing Multi-Stick, and I use the shade Sahara. I love cream bronzing sticks because one, obviously they add some dimension to your face, and second, because cream products don't really settle in those fine lines and crease, and it's very easy to blend. You're welcome to use powder bronzers if you feel like they want crease, but try to get something that's silky soft. In fact, one of my favorite drugstore bronzers is from Milani. It's called the Silky Soft Bronzer, and I use the shade 4. This product settles beautifully on the skin. It melts into the skin to give you that natural look. Overall, a 10 out of 10. Now, to set this, I never use a pressed powder. It's always a translucent loose powder. And the one that I absolutely love is the One Size Blurring Setting Powder in translucent. That's because this is very finely sifted and it sets beautifully. And the way I'm going to set my face is take a little bit of powder with a powder puff. And I'm not going to apply this directly. I'm going to dab off the excess. And with whatever's remaining on the powder puff, I'm going to first set in areas where I tend to crease, which is mostly under my eyes, around my nose, and my smile lines. And now I'm going to dip into the excess that I dabbed off in the back of my hand, and I'm going to set the rest of the face. That way it's not too much powder, your skin looks fresh and nice. At the same time, the makeup isn't going to crease. What this powder puff is also going to do is it's going to absorb that excess makeup and give you a skin-like finish. Now, instead of the powder puff, you can also use a dry sponge, not a damp sponge, but a dry sponge. It works beautifully as well. As you can see, that has brightened up my face. It's given me that beautiful dimension without looking overly powdery. Now is when I will apply blush. I usually use cream blushes because they settle beautifully over the skin. But today I wanted to give you a powder option that settles beautifully on the skin, is from the drugstore, and it's very pigmented. This, my friends, is the NYX Buttermelt Powder Blush, and I'm using the shade Butter with Thyme. This is such a beautiful shade, but also very pigmented. So I like to take a little bit, dab off in the back of my hand, just see how pigmented that is, and then very lightly dab and build if needed. Like even with that one swipe, it is so pigmented. But the nice thing about it is it settles beautifully on the skin. And if it turns out this pigmented, just take your powder puff and all you have to do is just press over it and it'll instantly mute it. And for the other side, I'm just taking what is in the back of my hand and I'm just going to press it in because this is so pigmented. This is what I would call a creamy powder blush, which is not chalky. See that flush? It looks fresh. It looks so youthful and not powdery at all. Whether you agree with me or not, I feel like the eyebrows play such an important part of defining your face. And one of my all-time favorite brow pencil is the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil, but it's a little bit pricey. So I found something that is equally pigmented and has the micro fine tip. This is the Kokie Cosmetics Brow Pencil, and today I'm going to be using the shade Chocolate Brown. And because it's so skinny, it's very easy to draw those natural hair-like strokes. While defining your brows, You want to keep it light because if you keep it too heavy, it'll weigh down on your lids, and especially if you have hooded eyes, you don't want to be doing that. So you want to define your brows, but at the same time, make it look very natural. So I like to fill in just the sparse areas. Now, as you can see, with minimal effort, that looks fabulous. I am the self-proclaimed queen of eye makeup, so it was very hard to pick just one eyeshadow palette. So what I did was I went over all my eyeshadow palettes and I said, what is it that I always lean towards? What is it that I use over and over again? And two palettes stood out. One is the Makeup by Mario Master Palette. This is the original one. And the other is, of course, my collaboration with Ofra Cosmetics, the Boring Palette. As you compare these palettes, you can see both are neutral. And that is something I tend to use over and over and over again rather than using very colorful eyeshadows. Of course, this is a personal choice. If you like colorful eyeshadows, go for it. One of my favorites colorful palette is the Tropical palette from Doe Color. It has all the beautiful shades in it. But if you're a neutral girly like me, then you will love one of these two palettes. Both of them are equally pigmented. The Makeup by Mario palette is all matte, but with my palette, you get one shimmer shadow right in the center. It's actually a sequence shadow. So anytime you want to go from a day to night, you can just apply that sequence shadow right in the center. So I'm going to be creating a look with it just to show you how pigmented it is, and also with that sequin shadow right in the center, so you can see how you can instantly go from day to night. I'm going to first prime my lids with the Rare Beauty primer. This is the one that won't crease on me. In fact, even concealers don't crease on me. So you can either use a primer or a concealer. But no matter what I'm using, I like to lightly set this with a translucent powder. I'm going to be using one size again, because at the end of the day, these are creams and they can settle in the fine lines and crease. I'm going to first start with the shade Buff, and I'm going to use it right at that crease. This is the closest to my skin shade, so it's going to create that beautiful warm transition at the crease. Make sure to blend that really well, and these eyeshadows are buttery soft and they melt into your skin. They are so beautiful. And now to deepen it, I'm going to dip into Depth, which is the deeper brown shade. Pointing my brush upward, I'm going to deepen it right in that outer half of my crease, right there. Take very little at a time because these eyeshadows are extremely pigmented, so you don't want to take too much at a time, and that can turn out blotchy and blending can become a nightmare. So just build it as you go along. I'm taking a little bit more and I'm going to deepen it right in that outer edge. And then with a smaller definer brush, I'm going to use it in my lower lash line. To lightly brighten up my lids, I'm going to dip into Halo and I'm going to just dab it lightly on my lid. And now to finish up this daytime look, I'm going to curl my lashes. And one of my current favorite mascaras is the L'Oreal Paradise Big Deal Mascara. The wand is so unique. It's a flexible wand. And I love this mascara because it adds so much length and volume. Just look at that difference just with one coat. It makes such a big, beautiful difference. I also like to apply mascara to my lower lashes because it gives that very doll-eyed look. But if that's not your preference, I totally get it. I think a lot of people fear applying mascara to lower lashes because they think they might smudge it. So what you can do is apply a little bit of translucent powder underneath, apply your mascara, and then wipe that powder off. So even if you smudge it, it's not visible. And just like that, this is usually my daytime eyeshadow look. It's so simple, gets done so quick, and it brightens up your eyes and makes you look so much more youthful. And that's why I absolutely love this. And now in just 3 simple steps, I'm going to show you how to take this from day to night within a minute. First, I'm going to use a dark pencil in my waterline. This is the Aqua Resist pencil by Makeup Forever, and this is in the shade Graphite, which is black. I love this formula because it's extremely pigmented and it doesn't smudge. It's not just smudge proof, it's also waterproof. And now with a flat shading brush, I'm going to dip into the black eyeshadow and I'm going to smoke it out right underneath my lash line in the very outer corner, and then also in my upper lash line again in the very outer corner. And that'll intensify and elongate the outer corner. I'm going to finish up with this beautiful sequin glitter called Showstopper. I'm going to pick it up with my finger and I'm going to press it right there, up until the center of my lid, just to add a little bit of sparkle. It gives that very wet look. You don't need an adhesive or anything because it's a sequence glitter, and it's very light. It's not chunky and doesn't feel heavy on the lids. And just like that, with just a couple simple steps, we went from a daytime to a nighttime look. And if you like lashes, but you have a problem with sticking it with a glue, you will absolutely love the Lily lashes. This is self-adhesive lashes, so you don't need any glue for this. And I'm using the style Game Changer. They have so many different styles. They also have half lashes. So if you don't like a complete set, you can just apply it in the very outer corner. It's so easy to use. All you have to do is get it out of the box and place it on your lash line. And just like that, eyes look so beautifully dramatic without the lash glue drama, which I myself personally hate. And when you're ready to get this off, just lift it from the corner, pull it out and put it back in the box, and you can use it up to 8 times. Also, because my vision isn't the best, I love this because I don't have to worry about that glue getting all over my lash line or my lid trying to fix those lashes. I usually stay away from luminizers and highlighters because it emphasizes my texture, so I like to keep it looking more natural. But if you like highlighters, I would ask you to use something that's light and either liquid or a cream. And I absolutely love the Rare Beauty luminizers, especially the one called Mesmerize. It is such a beautiful shade. And the way I like to apply this is take a little bit in the back of my hand, spread it out with my finger, then use a sponge. This is a dry sponge. And I'm going to lightly dab this on the topmost point of my cheekbones. It gives that lit from within glow. You don't want to add too much, but at the same time, you just want it to brighten your face. One thing I like to do with highlighters is apply it to the outer part of the arch of my brow. And I think that gives a subtle but makes a beautiful difference, especially when there's flash photography. If your lipsticks feather out in the edges because of fine lines, I would absolutely recommend a lip liner. Do you remember the MAC lip liners? Those were my absolute favorites. Those are the OGs, but there are so many new ones. And one of my absolute favorites is the Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil. This is in the shade Full Scale Rust. These are so pigmented. Oh shit, I should stop talking while I'm applying this. And although they're so creamy, they're not going to bleed or feather out or settle in those fine lines. Many of you wanted to know what lipstick I had in this picture when I did that panel with YouTube. I used the Jane Iredale Hydrating Cream Lipstick in the shade Desert Rose. The formula on this is super hydrating. It glides beautifully. And these come in so many beautiful shades, and this one is my absolute favorite. And this, my friends, is the exact combo I was wearing in that picture. And don't forget to seal everything by locking it in, because you don't want to be putting so much effort for nothing. So if you want to make your makeup last for a long time, use a setting spray. And two of my favorites are the Urban Decay All Nighter, and my top favorite is the One Size setting sprays. There are so many different ones. I absolutely love the powder melt one because it gives that beautiful skin-like finish with a little bit of glow. While it makes the makeup long-lasting, it's also going to melt all that powder that's sitting on the surface of your skin, melt it and make it look more skin-like. And here is the finished look. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this look and this tutorial. Let me know in comments. And if you have used any of these products, let me know what you think. And if you have any suggestions for some of the product that has really helped you, comment down below as well. Make sure to check out the description box and the tag products for all the products that I used today. You'll also find my new merch right below this video. We have some really cute t-shirt, mugs, and totes. Thank you everybody who bought them, and I can't wait for you to receive it and let me know how you like it. Make sure to subscribe and hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and check out the description box for all the goodness. I love you guys so much, and I will see you soon with a brand new one. Bye guys.